skeleton one.
Some of them are not. Some of them are not golden, Melanie. It's okay though. He's got enough volume in that he can just keep throwing it out there.
Spangle the foster cat is second guessing that, but
Come on, Melanie. What happens when a skeleton drinks a beer?
Yeah, where does it go?
That's
On the floor.
Oh,
But the first time he didn't say skeleton though, because I didn't get it either. I was like, no.
You just couldn't. He was blah, 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 blah.
Melanie explained it in the chat.
Listen to all the critics. Click the blue button. Silliness. Greetings, everybody. This is the National Real Estate Conversation. Chris Hurley here. Getting your words going in real estate. Had some fun talk on the pre-show. Nisi revealed she is the supercomputer with lots of natural intelligence. Silliness. Greetings, everybody. Oh, we're going to figure that reverb out one of these days when we get this show kicked off. That's a new toy that's so exciting that they did. This is Chris Hurley here to get your words going each day in real estate with the National Real Estate Conversation. And we start this, if this is your first time, we start this every day around 8:15 Eastern. I'm Central Time Zone, so it's a little bit earlier for me. And we go until the top of the hour, which means 9 o'clock if you're on the East Coast. And then you go away and make some contact with people and feel confident in your preparation for those conversations. So each day that we come, we introduce new themes of conversations to have so that you can build your confidence and get ready to step forward into some success this weekend. And we look to prepare it with a new theme each day. So if you're concerned when you come back, if it'll be the same thing, it's never the same thing. Well, end of the month, beginning of the month, we know that's the theme of expireds. But we introduce new things each day so that there's a variety and there's a place for you to practice. So after we finish a little pre-intro here, you'll have a chance to go to a small group room with some resources, some inspiration, and practice scripting with another agent, another realtor or two. And the way that the show works the best is if people get lots of turns to practice. So the idea when you go to a breakout room, let's let people say the words fully, and then let's do less coaching and critiquing and more practicing. It's always better to give maybe a couple bits of feedback, one thing I do different, one thing I approve of, and that way we can move through the routine because we get better as we practice. And I have a special guest on, I was trying to get her today, but on Monday, we'll have a special guest talking about the importance of practice and that sort of thing. So honored to help you guys get started on a great weekend. And before you go, I am a licensed realtor in Austin, Texas. So I want you to put my name in your phone. Chris Hurley will help your friends in Austin, Texas. And that's Austin, Kyle Buda, Lakeway, Johnson City is probably as far west as I go. And be happy to help your people make Austin a home. And I've enjoyed moving my family here earlier this year. And be happy to help you. So reach out to me if you have somebody moving to Austin, Texas. I'm happy to help them. The conversations about to be upon us, buyer seasons are going to encounter us. And then there's going to be some people who have a period of pause where they have some fear about their interest rate. Would you agree? Are there going to be interest rate conversations that you might have to unravel in the near future? Are you prepared to unravel that? Is it something you're looking forward to help someone see the light of where they are in terms of the opportunity and where the conversation can go from there? Do you have a script that you would use when somebody says, I'd buy now, but I'm waiting for interest rates to go down? Like, is that the kind of interest rate talk we're expecting? Valerie, what do you say?
What do you think will happen when interest rates go down, Chris?
Like going back to it, like we know when interest rates go down because we've been through that season of 2021 before, like we can, if you haven't, I'll let you know. Valerie, what happened in 2021 when interest rates went really low?
Everyone came into the market. There were bidding wars and prices shot up like crazy. Is that what you want to wait for?
Who likes to go to the day after Thanksgiving sale? Who enjoys that process? Standing. Look at you people. You were the realtors who said, I can't wait to go bid on this house. But you can paint that picture, right? Imagine you couldn't get the free TV and you stood in line all day and you didn't succeed. Is that really what you're looking to do? If you had to overpay for the house because everybody had free money, is that better? Shirley Robinson, what say ye?
Chris, what percentage amount do you expect the rates to go down to? What would be a good amount for you?
That's a great clarifying question. Because if they say 3%, give them a minute, get up, let's look at, see, Shirley's looking at you like you're crazy. But that's real, right? Are there people who really think that we're going to go back to 3%? And don't laugh. Don't fall on the floor. But what can you share with me? What gives you that kind of insight? And that's a good, curious question to begin to know whether or not it's worth you doing what after you get the answer. What should you never do if they're waiting for 2% interest rates? Erica, I'm going to give you the answer to this. You're going to have to answer this one. It's really succinct. Erica, if they're waiting for 2% interest rates, what should you not do to that buyer?
Help them.
You should not show them houses. You should, right? Don't drive around and show them houses. If they're committed to 2%. So I need us to be authentic with ourselves and the reality of the market, the way you know it to be, and the way people can succeed. All right, she has a finger. Erica, 3 sentences.
I had a different way when you said you're waiting for the 2% interest. I help people, by the way, I'm not rude. But when you said you were waiting for the interest rates to go down, or a buyer said that, I would say, okay, let's pretend, or let's wave a magic wand. Interest rates are now down to where you want them to be. Tell us, where would you move to? Tell me more about that. What would, like, you go 3, 4, 5, 6 level deep, and then you're like, okay, so how long can you really wait until, or what happens if you don't? Is it worth waiting? Blah, blah, blah. But it's, instead of addressing the interest rate, address their problem and then try to solve it. And then, you know, if people find value in the absence of value, people don't move forward. So if they see the value, they'll move forward no matter what the cost is.
3 sentences was the goal, but she exceeded 3 sentences. Ian was watching, but next time we'll do it. We'll keep leveling up. Frank Matera, interest rate talk. Frank.
Yeah, well, it's all about knowing your local market. Okay. Because one of the great things is, you know, interest rates wherever they are. In my area, houses prices keep going up. You can always refi the interest rate, but you can't the purchase price of the house.
I
So
like
you want
that.
to pay more for the house, or while you wait, or do you want to buy now, and when the interest rates go down, refi.
You can always refi the interest rate. You can't refi the price. Once you've paid what you've paid, that's what you've paid. I like that, Frank. That's awesome. Chef Keith.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Chris. I would have to ask, do you remember what happened when the interest rates dropped to that level and what it was that caused that to happen? You know, it's not a seasonal thing where you can predict interest rates are going to go down to 2%. When something like that happens, it's the government's way of giving an adrenaline shot to the country because we are in a depression. And 9 times out of 10, if you're waiting for that, the majority of the people that are waiting for that, you may find yourself out of a job. Situations may not be in your favor in all the other areas other than the interest rates. Would you rather be in a position where you can pay a 7% interest rate or in a position where you can't pay a 2% interest rate? What are you waiting for? At least that's what I see.
Hey, Keith, let me ask you this. When interest rates are low, why didn't you buy in 2021? Just say it wasn't the right time.
Why didn't I buy?
Yeah. Just say it wasn't the right time for me.
It wasn't.
So can I share something
really
with you?
wasn't.
Can I share something with you, Keith?
Mhm.
Take a look at this slide here. This shows what interest rates were from as far back as 1972 to today.
Mhm.
And when you look at this chart here where they measure each year the interest rates, what does that show you in terms of a projection of a way the interest rates have unfolded? What does that show you? That when interest rates
No.
were at their highest, you were probably what, 10 years old?
Correct. No,
And
in
when
80,
interest-
I was 20.
And in
But
interest,
thank you for the compliment.
like that. I listen. When interest rates were 2% or 3%. Can you see that there?
Yeah.
That 2020, 21, and 22 time frame, could you call that an all-time low?
Yeah.
So
That's
do you
definitely
have to wait
seen.
for an all-time low in order to make a move? Or could you make a move when other things are making
No,
sense to you?
absolutely not.
You know, in fact, if you look at the slide here, if interest rates are actually below 6%, does that show you it's the lowest of all time since 1990?
Yeah.
So if I can get you under 6%, meaning it's the lowest interest rate in 30 years or below historical averages, doesn't it make sense to at least consider moving?
Absolutely.
Why don't we meet with a lender and work through the payment? And if the payment makes sense,
And
it
see
may
what
be the
it
right
is.
opportunity for you. Can we do that later
Mhm.
today?
We absolutely can.
Keith, if I sent you a link to their website, would you do the application today just so we have firsthand information?
I would be tempted to.
Perfect. I'll call
I
you
would
back.
be tempted to.
I'll call you back this afternoon and just make sure you got it done before the weekend, because I'd really like to see you in a house before the end of the spring market gets upon
Thank you
us.
for that. Great point of view. Thank you.
So guys, I put a script in the chat, but I don't know if it needs a full script in order for you as a pro to know how to navigate this. You're going to hear pushback from people, and it's okay. It's okay to hear pushback from people. They're going to say what they're going to say, and we're going to have to respond to it in a way that navigates some of the stress that they feel. I had somebody waiting for, I mean, some very interesting conditions to develop that I really couldn't even understand, that were not even interest rate driven. They had other kind of conspiracy theory things that were all going to happen. And when buyers start to say really unusual things to you, that's a time for you to pause. And whether they think something's going to happen with aliens coming to the planet, or whether they think the interest rates are going to go to 2%, get curious about that. Let's talk more about that, because when we're so distracted with really off the wall ideas, are we going to move through the purchase process naturally, or are we going to have difficulty there as well? Like, be in front of these conversations so that you can say to people, here's the interest rate facts. I understand what you feel, but here's the facts. When you look at the chart and it shows you where we are, what does that make you think now? Now that this information is in front of you, could you at least make the effort to find out from a lender how it would work? Okay, my friends, down below breakout rooms, you have a chance to go work out interest rate talk for a couple minutes, just till the top of the hour. Nisi put all of the slides that I referenced in mine in the chat, so you can download that. Thank you, Nisi Draper from Baltimore, for doing that. And practice what it would be to encounter somebody who says the phrase, I'm waiting for interest rates to go down. And that way you're ready for the spring market upon us. Because you may meet somebody in an open house that's ready to do a deal, but they think 3% still on the horizon because of something. So tell me more about that. All right, double thumbs up, my friends. Click on breakout rooms, get your workouts in, and we'll come back before the top of the hour with golden bumper sticker nuggets. Ronnie's at a big place today. He's at some convention center. Monica.
The region brought in Liz Landry.
Oh, hold on. Ronnie's secret. I'm sorry, Monica. Where are you, Ronnie? The region brought in somebody famous?
Liz Landry.
Oh, Liz Landry.
Talent, KW talent coordinator. She's a coach.
All right. Exciting. Have fun with that today. Good luck to your region. Monica, how are you?
Thanks.
Hi,
Appreciate it.
Chris. I'm trying to lower my hand. I had it up before.
Okay.
It won't go away.
You in panic that I was getting ready to call on you, starting asking you to defend your commission?
No, I'm not.
It's all fun and games until Chris starts asking my name.
Yeah, well, go ahead. You can ask.
Monica, listen, we'd sign with you today, but you got to do it for less.
What's that?
We'd hire you today to sell our house, but we need you to do it for less.
Well, I was waiting for the interest rate one.
Oh, well, okay. Well,
Yeah.
Monica, let's do the interest rate one. Listen, we've known each other for a while, so I threw a
Yeah.
hardball.
You,
All right,
yeah,
so
you
Monica,
did.
listen, I really appreciate it, but we think interest rates are going to go down by June. Things that we've been reading online say that they're going to meet again and reduce interest rates. So I think we'll probably wait until June to make a decision.
Okay, so, how soon did you want to be in a house? Did you want to be in a house by June, or were you thinking right now?
Well, we got a month to month, so we're in no rush. So, you know, we've got some time to work on some things here.
Okay, and what's making you think that interest rates are going to go down?
Just all the things they're talking about in the economy with, you know, with the Fed's meeting or something. I think there's a meeting coming up soon. Don't they reduce the rates at the meeting? Isn't that what they're saying?
Not always. And nobody really has a crystal ball, including myself. But in talking with lenders locally here, I'm not sure. And if it does go down, are you thinking it's going to go down to 3%, or are you thinking it's going to go down a quarter point?
Well, if it went down to 3%, I'd be really excited. But I think
Yes.
if we could get it below 6, I think we'd be happy if we got a below 6% rate.
Right. So if you got a below 6% rate, what would that do for you?
Well, it would be the kind of pro forma we're looking for when we've mapped out what our payments would be in the house and, you know, all the details. So the below
Right.
6 is really what we're looking for.
Right. And you're moving out of your house and you're telling me you have like 10 years in, so you have some equity built. So if your payment is what you're looking for, then I would suggest you talk with a lender, because there's there's ways to put a down payment down, a little bit more down payment.
Monica, may I coach you for 1 second on that phrase?
Down, so that you the rate if the payment's where you want it to be. Is that what you're looking for?
Okay.
Payment.
Monica, may I coach you on one phrase there?
Sure.
Give me a stronger idea. Don't may I suggest, but what would it sound like to give a more instructive, like that kind of magnet? You know, you don't have to be drill sergeant pointing at them, but what would it say to be a little bit, rather than suggest, what's another way that you could get them to the lender?
I work with a local lender on a consistent basis, and I think he would be able to help you understand what the payment would look like should you like to move forward now as opposed to June.
Okay. Hey, Monica, I have an idea.
Go ahead.
Monica, I have an idea. Why don't you talk to my lender? They're very competent, well put together, and they'll give you the right information about what's today. Because I want you to imagine this, Monica. What if they had the resources to get you below 6% today, and it was just beyond the door of this conversation? Doesn't it make sense to call them today and just find out if there is that opportunity?
Okay. And what if they couldn't do that?
Well, now you know, right? You know where we are and how far the goalpost is. I mean, if it was just like a quarter point away, and I could negotiate that into the deal where the seller makes a contribution to get you to below 6%, would that be all the things you need to make a decision?
Yes. Okay.
So let's do that. Let's talk about what options are available when the finances are on the table, and we can know a good strategy rather than, waiting for the Fed to do
Yes,
something.
I know, waiting. Okay.
Just a little bit more like the demonstration of value. I appreciate where you were coming from. I've known them for a long time, their local market experience. And it may be okay just to give an instruction and see what the feedback is from you saying, let's do this.
Right. Just be a little more direct with it. Okay.
Our leadership helps people make decisions. And I want all of us to be comfortable with this. You're the expert. You have the license. You look at the properties, you look at the trends. And when somebody has something that they want to share with you, it's great. Yet I want us to still be instructing people how to succeed. And, when you have things that are unusual, unpack that a little bit. Find out what their motives are for that. Lainey Lane has her hand up for a long time. She doesn't want to defend her commission. She needs to put her hand down quickly.
Oh, my hand went
Sorry,
away.
no, I didn't realize it was up. That must have been from earlier. Say that one more time for me, please.
I think what's that? We're waiting for interest rates to go down to below 6% before we make a decision.
I can absolutely understand that. Just know that I want to be a Victoria's Secret model, and chances of that happening are kind of slim at the moment. So let's work on another way to get you there. And that actually worked. You're muted.
I'm not muted. I'm just blown away. That was amazing.
But it worked. I did it last week.
Golly, that's awesome.
Because there's no chance in this God's green earth that I'm going to ever be a Victoria's Secret model with friggin' wings.
I love it.
But they were like, oh. I said, so let's get you into where you need to be. When rates come down, then we can refinance. But at this moment, this is it. This is where we're at, and we need to get moving on this.
I want you to think in your local submarket. Lainey's in Palm Beach, so she has a culture there that can be very, out of the box. And so you can use that out of the box to relate to people in a very personal way. And that's amazing in terms of being able to introduce that kind of sarcasm, that distance between reality and where we are. And
because I really just want to say, no, that's not going to happen. But obviously I have to know who I'm talking to. And if they're a little bit more lighthearted than super high D, S, and C, then I have no problem doing it. I get a little nervous. The D's I have no problem being direct with, but the S and the C's I get a little nervous, but I just try to make it work.
So the S's and the C's will not respond to self-deprecation the same way.
Right.
They'll feel bad for you. They'll say, oh,
she's never going to get her wings.
She's never going to get her wings, Donna. I'm so sad. Right. The one thing I'm still processing my S's at a high level to serve them, space and time. They love space and time. If you can give them space and time to decide, I will tell you, and compliments. Oh my gosh, secret compliments. My son Joseph's teacher, we were in his ARD meeting, which is he's special needs. So we have a big committee of people. We all have to sit once a year and say we're doing things. And his new teacher was such a high S, which I love for Joseph. Great teacher. She was advocating for more support. And I didn't want to, in a meeting of 17 people, call her out. But in our one-on-one meeting, I said, hey, I am so thankful for you advocating for Joe. And she smiled, literally, like beyond ear to ear. She was so rewarded that she was recognized for protecting Joe. And it was private. It wasn't something in public. But to the D, to the I, where does the I like to be awarded?
In public.
In public.
In public on the stage with a light, right? That's why when you shine that camera in front of realtors and say, hey, realtor, get on camera, all the S's and say, no, I'm not. No Instagram for me, right? Just know your people, right? Know how, if you work with people in a way that serves them, it'll be easier to have a good relationship.
Here I am. I see you ignored my text, but have a great morning.
I'm not talking to you. Back in the waiting room. Don't start sending me your school texts, everybody. I'm gonna send you the cheerleader result when VT's not there.
There's still time for you to get your wings, Chris.
That's not happening, Jack. Thank you. Ken, is that your hand up? Yes, Ken's hand is up. What's up, Ken?
Okay, if the interest rate go down, more buyer come into the market, then the seller is going to raise the price, and at the end, so the more buyer is going to pay more. That's my point. Thank you.
Ken, what's a question that you could ask a buyer after you make that statement? How do you end it in a question? All the information you presented is true. When there's interest rates are lower, more buyers hit the market. So then ask me a question as a buyer to motivate me to do something different.
See, I show one of the buyer. I give them the analysis for month to month. Every month she pay $1,200 per month for the rent, and then she changed her mind right away. I try to show her because every month she is losing $1,200. So every upon you may pay maybe $100, $200, $300 more, but every month you're losing $1,200. That is a big difference. So she changed her mind and start buying right away. Thank
When
you.
you're thinking of working with tenants, and certainly Ken, that's a great role model, that when the
Mhm.
tenant gets the information from us that says, listen, doesn't it make sense for you to stop building wealth for somebody else?
Yeah.
Start making that investment in yourself.
Mhm.
Imagine if you were actually owning this condo 2 years ago. Like if you bought this house 2 years ago, what would it be worth today?
Right.
So you would have
Mhm.
already made a big equity splash just by appreciation living here for 2 years. What do you
Yeah.
think would happen if you would live there for longer than that? Like, couldn't you build real wealth?
Yes. Mhm. Thank you,
Kenya,
Chris.
you're welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Kenya has her hand up. What's up, Kenya?
Good morning, Chris and everybody. Yeah, yesterday I was able to actually use, somebody had actually used that objection on me as far as the interest rates. And my response was, that's a great observation. Because it was like, yeah, we want to buy, but man, these interest rates, have gone up, especially, based on what they were compared to. And I just responded to her and I said, that's a great observation. However, let me ask you this question. What's more important to you? Is it really the interest rate, or is it your month-to-month mortgage payment amount and staying within that range? So I used that objection handler on her, and she said, well, it's actually the mortgage payment. As long as we're able to stay, within that certain range, we'd be good. And so anyway, that was my ability. I was able to use that to then transition them to get them with the lender, and they've met, and we're actually meeting tomorrow for our strategy meeting. So I just wanted to add that because that one definitely works.
If it's so second nature to us, I don't want us to drive past how normal it is to have Kenya's conversation, like totally authentic. You're going to run into a buyer who's been living in their dreamland for a certain period of time, and they're waiting for another imagined benchmark of interest rates. So don't drive past the simplest of objections. And Kenya did an amazing job role modeling it, where you approve it. If you heard her thing, she gave an approval. That was a good observation, and then overcame the objection. And those are the things that we're looking to interact with people to make the easy ones really easy. Don't overthink it. You don't need to convince anybody to buy a home that day. We just need to get them to the next step of knowing where the monthly payment is, what the down payment requirements are. And here's the oh my gosh, here's how smart you all could be. When somebody says, as maybe a first-time home buyer, I'm qualified, but I don't have enough money for the down payment, is there solutions? Right? There's solutions, guys. DSCR loans, grant programs, other products that are available, but we need to get people to that space where they can get the information. So it is a very valuable tool to just move people from C clients to B clients, because when they're approved, they're at least one step closer to deciding in a search. And once they're an A client in a search mode, our mission is to match them with that house because we've already done the financials. So listen to what they're looking for when housing comes up. All right, couple hands up before the crew comes back. That Patricia Canale is here, New York.
Hello there. So Chris, would it surprise you to know that there are buyers that actually wait for this kind of market to buy because they understand that while an interest rate may appear high to you right now, the reality is you can refinance that rate. But the purchase price of your house that generally goes up when the interest rate goes down is something that you can't renegotiate. So why don't we do this? Why don't we speak with my lender and let's get everything on the table so we can take a look at the full picture before you make that kind of decision.
If you were to listen to Patricia say that, what personality style does that trigger? Like who doesn't like the taken advantage of or overpaying concept?
D's.
Yeah. That's Pat, for New York, that's an awesome one. Like you reach a lot of those people who I'm not going to be taken advantage of. So when you hear that kind of talk, it's easy to introduce the next follow, which is, well, what do you think is going to happen? You rather overpay later and get a better interest rate, or you rather get a better deal now? Because D's always like deals. Everything is a deal situation. All right, last hand up. I have a hand up. I can't see whose hand is up. Jack Smith. Jack Smith is not camera on. That's why his hand, I can't see him. What's up, Mr. Smith? He doesn't even know he has his hand up. All right,
That was old, Chris. Sorry, I'm driving.
That's all right, buddy. All right, my friends, we're back on the other side. Golden bumper sticker nuggets. You can thank people for the amazing workout you had today. We had a good time in the main room. I appreciate everybody working out and working on your interest rate talk. Let's get some open houses on the calendar. If you're not going to do one this weekend, which you could call somebody who's got a vacant home, get a marketing opportunity to meet buyers. Do one for next weekend. We'll introduce a couple scripts during the week about open house for next weekend. And think about reaching out to a broker in your office or whatever is permitted in your state and getting an open house on your calendar so that you can go meet buyers and have this interest rate talk. Like, it's a choice, guys. We got to get engaged with the consumer, and this is one of the ways to do it. So Golden Bumper Sticker Nuggets back from Buffalo. She's recovered from her sadness, but we are welcoming her back. Hello.
Hey, hi, I'm so happy to be back. It was so great today. Had my brain aneurysm surgery. I'm doing good. So, just wonderful. It's great to practice again. That's it. Thanks for doing what you do. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Valerie Kilburn is here. Miss Val, good to hear from you.
Hi, I was in roommate with Kelly and Kim Lorenza, I believe her last name. And I love the way she pulled it off and asked them if they remember a couple of years ago what the market was like. And it was so smooth. And, she talked them down the route of, hey, what was a buyer doing 2 years ago? Well, they were bidding 20, 30, 40, 50,000 over asking. Is that the kind of market you want to be in? I love that. That was really helpful.
Love it. Love it. Deborah Morris, North Orlando.
When you mentioned open houses, I'm like, you know what? You don't have to wait for an open house to get buyers. How many people are tagged as buyers or in our pipeline that we should be going back over there and having this interest rate conversation with them? And so it's just a good reminder. And yes, practice makes perfect. Know that your ultimate goal is to set that next appointment so you can sit down and meet. Thank you.
Love it. Tampa Bay Tremarkin is going to close us out. Daniel.
All right, my friends. Hey, Kathleen, wonderful seeing you back here.
Yay.
Just a quick, what I hope might be like a pro tip that I've learned over the years. If you ever feel like you're getting into a conversation and you feel like you're starting to sweat because it's like you're doing the heavy lifting, pause and just come up with a question. The questions transfer the weight of the conversation to the other person, and it allows you to think. So if you feel like you're doing the heavy lifting, stop and just think of a good question or a couple questions that you could ask them.
Invite people to tell their story. You get to know them more and they'll like you in the end. People don't like to hear your story, though they'll lean in and act like it. They want to tell you their story. And that's how the relationship bank gets built. So my friends, ask great questions. Listen like a good listener. People will understand how much more you care by how much you allow them to tell the story. Great to see everybody again. We'll be back on Monday, same time, same channel. Lisa Perlman is here with a dog. Lisa, take us away.
You've received inspiration. Now go put in.
Yay.
Thank you so much. Have a great
day, everyone.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Have a blessed day, everyone.
Have a great day. Thanks.
Great. Have an incredible real estate weekend, everyone.
Chris, when are they starting the disc?
Monday. Look
It's
on
coming.
Eventbrite. Yeah, Monday is the Eventbrite. We need to get some registrations on that. Eventbrite, Evolve Coaching and Training.
Sorry?
Evolve, EVOLVE, Evolve Coaching and Training.
Okay.
Disc. And you'll see our registration. If you don't see a picture of me, it's not me.
Okay.
Just see
Have
me.
a successful weekend.
There it is. He's got it.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.